Map Signals has been one of the few bulls out there over the past year. That stance is getting an upgrade today, and here's how the S&P 500 can reach 5,900 by year end. Listen, there's a lot of reasons to sell stocks, but there are 3 reasons that you want to be owning stocks. And it's because the Fed rate cuts, they're on the way starting in September. Earnings are expanding, and then you've got trillions of dollars in dry powder. Lots of folks are hiding in money markets, and they are going to be jumping ship once rates start to fall. So before we get into how the S&P 500 can get to 5,900, let's go ahead and take stock of some of the wild movements that the market has been having over the past couple of weeks. So the first things first is you'll notice that the big money index, even though the market had this huge sell-off, it's really been flatlining. And that is very typical of summer low volatility environments. However, here's what's really interesting. You look back at what happened in early August, you had nearly 400 stocks get sold. That is capitulation, folks. And you can look at prior times where we had similar style selling. And here's what's important. We tend to have these calmer seas that occur right after these huge volatile periods. To see the market just really humming along right now, that is exactly what we notice in our data going back years. But here's what's important. Now, this low volatility that we have right now, I wouldn't expect it to continue, because if you look at September 2020, 21, 22, 23, all saw the S&P 500 fall. That is seasonal weakness that you should expect even this year. So here's what we do know is that August and September, those are negative months on average for the market. Doesn't mean this year will follow suit, but you do want to be paying attention to potential portfolio rebalancing that happens in September. But if you just focus here, you're going to miss what's really the big picture. And that's that October, November, and December tend to kick off very bullish times for the market. So that's why we want you to stay invested in stocks and potentially look for any pullbacks as an opportunity. But here's what's really cool about what we're seeing right now. Did you know that year to date, the S&P is up nearly 18%? Why that's important is because if you go back to 1980, when the S&P 500 is up at least 10% through the month of August, you get all these instances right here. Here's what tends to happen on average, September through December. You see a gain of 4.94%. Why is that important? Well, if you take the latest level of the S&P 500 at 5620, you add 4.94%, you're looking at 58.97 on the S&P 500. That's how you get to 5,900. And listen, if you're not focused on outlier stocks in this environment, you are missing out. It is time for you to upgrade your research. Get going with a Map Signals subscription. We are witnessing one of the strongest bull markets we've seen in years. Don't miss out. I'll see you next week.